everyone, I'm Miss Briana from the Hopewell Branch Library, and today I'm going to tell you the story about the princess and the pea, as originally told by Hans Christian Andersen. And then after the story, I'm going to tell you about some different versions of the story written by different authors. And finally, I'm going to show you how to make your very own princess bed. So let's begin with the story of the Princess and the Pea. The Princess and the Pea by Hans Christian Andersen. Once upon a time, there was a prince who wanted to marry a princess, but she would have to be a real princess. He traveled all over the world to find one, but nowhere could he get what he wanted. There were princesses enough, but it was difficult to find out whether they were real ones. There was always something about them that was not as it should be. So he came home again and was sad, for he would have liked very much to have a real princess. One evening a terrible storm came on. There was thunder and lightning, and the rain poured down in torrents. Suddenly a knocking was heard at the city gate, and the old king went to open it. It was a princess standing out there in front of the gate. But good gracious, what a sight the rain and the wind had made her look! The water ran down from her hair and clothes. It ran down into the toes of her shoes and out again at the heels. And yet she said she was a real princess. Well, we'll soon find that out, thought the old queen. But she said nothing, went into the bedroom, took all the bedding off the bedstead, and laid a pea on the bottom. Then she took 20 mattresses and laid them on the pea. And then 20 eider-down beds on top of the mattresses. On this the princess had to lie all night. In the morning she was asked how she had slept. "Oh, very badly," said she. "I have scarcely closed my eyes all night. Heaven only knows what was in the bed, but I was lying on something hard, so that I am black and blue all over my body. It's horrible." Now they knew that she was a real princess, because she had felt the pea right through the 20 mattresses and the 20 eider-down beds. Nobody but a real princess could be as sensitive as that. So the prince took her for his wife, for now he knew that he had a real princess, and the pea was put in the museum, where it may still be seen if no one has stolen it. There, that is a true story. I hope you enjoyed my version of The Princess and the Pea. Now I want to share with you some books that rewrite the story in a new way. These authors tell the story using different characters, settings, or events, and sometimes even the endings change. So the first book I want to share with you today is called The Very Smart Pea and the Princess to Be by Minnie Gray. In this version of The Princess and the pea is the one telling the story. It begins with the pea's birth in the palace garden and continues until the pea helps arrange the royal marriage. Let's take a look inside and look at some of the great illustrations. That the author uses. And this is a fun take on the original story. Now the next book I want to share with you is called The Princess and the Packet of Frozen Peas, and the author is Tony Wilson and the illustrator is Sue DeGennaro. And in this modern tale, Prince Henrik wants to marry an outdoorsy kind of girl. So instead of a single pea tucked into a pile of bedding, Henrik tests prospective brides with an entire packet of frozen peas put under a flimsy camping mattress. And Henrik despairs as princess after princess complains, until one day the just right girl shows up unexpectedly in the form of an old friend, Pippa. Now Pippa is all too happy to join Henrik in pitching a tent or playing a game of hockey, and at the end she finds the perfect use for the packet of frozen peas. Now let's take a look inside. You can see what the illustrations look like too. And this is just a fun version of the story. Now, in the last book I want to share with you, this is called The Princess and the Pea, and it's by Rachel Isadora. And here, the author takes a familiar story and retells it in an African setting. And let's look inside. As you can see, she uses really bright colors and paper collages to create a new version of the story. And it's a really beautiful book to read. So there are lots of versions of The Princess and the Pea available at the library. And I created a little page that lists these stories as well as a few others that I found in the catalog. And you can find this page on the printable activities page of our website. And at the bottom, I have some other suggested activities you can try at home. But let me show you how I created my princess bed for the story that I told. So all I did is I took a cardboard cereal box and opened it up, and then I cut off the edges on either side so that I was left with a rectangle. And then I used the side of the box to create the bedposts. And all they are long strips of cardboard, and I cut a little triangle at the top. And to decorate them, I used a brown crayon to decorate it in, to color it in, and used a black crayon to make some decorations. You can make yours whatever color you like. At the bottom of the bed, I had a little piece that I got from the bottom of the box. Right down here, I just cut that off and colored it in, and now we're going to put it all together. So to make the bedding, I used paper rectangular strips that I cut up from a pad of paper I had of colorful paper. But if you had some fabric lying around, or felt, or even wrapping paper, you could use all of those supplies to make the bedding. And all I did is I took my glue stick and I glued on a few pieces of the paper rectangles. I'm just gonna put on a few right now so you can see what I did. And so you'll want to continue with the paper rectangles all the way down to the bottom. Then after I colored in my bedposts, I glued them on either side after all the paper was in, and then I put the bottom of the bed so that in the end it would look like this. Now, one of the most important parts is that you need to create a little pea, which I used a green crayon and cut out a circle to make my pea. And also, you want to make someone to sleep on the bed at the top. Here's my princess, but you can make a prince or a cat or a dog, whatever you think would enjoy your bed. And so we have lots of Fractured Fairy Tales this summer, and I hope you'll join us every Friday morning at 10:30 to see the new video as it becomes live. And I hope you had a good time today, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.